Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Trinity Health System in Steubenville, Ohio, is taking significant steps to strengthen its presence and impact within the community. Among its recent developments is a potential integration with the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, which could further enhance healthcare services and ensure long-term sustainability. The system has also expanded its reach by opening the St. Clairsville Neighborhood Hospital, providing vital emergency care and advanced medical facilities to the region. Additionally, Trinity's commitment to community wellness is evident through successful fundraising efforts, such as the Raffle for Medical Equipment, which supports the acquisition of advanced technologies for patient care. These initiatives reflect Trinity Health System's dedication to promoting health and well-being throughout the area.
What really separates us from other schools is our main focus on God.
We are implementing virtues in our athletes. That's our number one job. It's not to win basketball games or whatever your competition is, it's to grow closer to Christ.
I found the community here to be very authentic, very genuine, and something that I immediately wanted to be a part of.
The program is just getting better and better and better.
We want them to be battle tested in the faith. I mean, it is Christ-centered here.
Welcome to the Harp and Habit, Steubenville's hidden gem. Here, Irish charm dances with local warmth. Picture shepherd's pie, fish and chips, and soda bread, all crafted with care. Whether it's family, friends, or romance, every meal becomes a celebration. Join us. Where good food meets great memories, you belong here.
Welcome into the Joe Wallace Coaches Show here inside Finnegan Fieldhouse on Hank Kuzma's court. This is brought to you by High Valley Sports Online and the Trinity Health Systems. Today with Coach Wallace, we got Malachi Rose Burton, a senior on this year's team, stands in at 9-2. Last time we seen you, Coach, you picked up 4 wins since then. We'll talk about that in a minute, but right now we want to talk to Malachi about why you've been here, why'd you come here, Malachi, and I know you've developed yourself into a senior leadership role on a good basketball team coming off the bench. That means a lot to me. Let's talk about that. First of all, what brought you here to play basketball for the Barons?
Yeah, first and foremost, the whole reason I came here is because there was a brotherhood, and it was something that was brought to me in my high school, and I thought that I needed that at the next level too if I was going to be successful. And the coaches really fostered that. And as I got older on the team and became more of the leader position, I wanted to foster that for the incoming freshmen and just show that to everybody. And I think that's been key to our success this year. We've had some tough battles, and we may have dropped some games that we shouldn't have. And I think the tightness in our team and the togetherness is the reason why we overcome some of those shortcomings, or the reason why we can compete against really good teams.
I think that you have to hold that just from an athletics background. I think you have to hold that in high regard. That you mentioned these freshmen. I mean, not saying that your freshmen were, but today's athlete feels entitled. And you've got, and I know that's a barrier that you got to face. The coaches does, but you as a leader, you got a couple freshmen that came in, and then you got Zach Oliver that also came in new, and they had a career of their own before they came here. How'd you approach that, dealing with them? I mean, because they come in, the cock of the walk, so
yeah.
How you approach that?
Yeah, it can be different. It's very different from player to player, and you just have to find out how to talk to people, and the only way you can do that is just by spending time with them. So I think a lot of the time that we spent with them off the court helped us realize what kind of person they were, and the coaches do a really good job of recruiting guys that have really good character. So usually when we talk to them about stuff like that, they don't think we're stepping on their toes, or you usually squash out most of the problems early in the open gyms, the open runs. And like Coach Wallace, they let us handle our own issues. We tell them if they do something, we don't do that here. We don't like the whole trash talk, competitive fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we don't demean each other by any means, and we keep it love in between the court, competitive. But as soon as we get off the court, we squash everything. It's all love around here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I mean,
no. I want to touch on that.
Go ahead. Why don't you touch on that?
My attitude is, every kid that we talk to, has talked about, the brotherhood up here, and I know that doesn't come overnight. I know that's a bunch of work. How you work at that, Coach? To maintain that love. You got a lot of love on your team. You could see that kids are enjoying other guys' success, and that's not always the case.
That's not always the case, especially nowadays. How do we? I mean, number one. I mean, at the end of the day, it's what's the most important thing to us, right? Is a culture built around that, and then that's number one. Everything in an ideal is what you want, but to get to that, you have to have the right people. So we have, with our coaching staff, we have the right people, which helps us recruit and attract guys that are similar, right? And that's what it is. It's a lot of guys that are similar and understand that this is very important, not just to, wins and losses wise, but to help, foster your growth as a man when you leave here. And to be in an environment like this, to see that will help translate that to when these guys go to the wherever they go from here, whatever their career paths are, that an environment like this is going to be successful. And to take that out of this place to somewhere else is what we want them to do. And it all comes down to, that's the ideal of it, and that's been formed and shaped and beaten at times, but then you have to have the guys that really want that. Malachi's been perfect for that. I mean, Malachi, he's right down the river from here, but he had some injuries early in his career. He played as a freshman. He's seen the ups and downs, and now a lot of ups right now. And what he's done, we can talk more about it here in a second, but what he's done to impact winning right now is immeasurable. And I said it after the last game at the Capitol. I mean, you look at the stat sheet, and there's not numbers that are on there that people from the outside are going to look at and say, wow, Malachi played a great game.
Right,
but to us, we see the value, the way he's guarding on the ball, the way he's able to get our offense moving and create shots for others, and make sure we're organized offensively, we're pushing the pace, taking tough defensive matchups, and he's shouldering a lot of heavy lifting away from other guys right now. And you mentioned, like a Cavetta out there as a freshman, even Sawyer's drawing a lot of attention. Malachi can ease all of that for all these guys, and his leadership has been tremendous in practice every day. I mean, he brings it every day. He gets his reps. He got a veteran off day yesterday, which was much deserved. But yeah, I mean, it's everything you want in a senior guard. You know, that's going to be bringing a tough as nails mentality on both ends of the court.
I think what I enjoy about it, you being a Valley guy, and I've said the same thing to Josh Zimmerman. I think you set an example.
Yes.
I think that other Valley guys, understand, like, wow, Franciscan, might not be a bad place, and I tried to impress that upon Josh all the time. Hey, you're coming from Steubenville, you know what I mean? And Steubenville, is going to be watching you because this is Franciscan University of Steubenville, and you get a player that maybe doesn't want to leave, wants to stay home. And that's an advantage to not only the player, but the school. So how'd you handle that, just saying, hey, I'm going to go to Franciscan? And how was you perceived whenever you made that decision?
Yeah, I think at first it turned a lot of heads just because I think first and foremost, a lot of people thought I was going to go play football.
Yeah.
And me deciding to play basketball kind of threw some people off. And then when they heard of Franciscan, they were like, oh, well, it's a Catholic school. Like, maybe the athletics aren't what they could have been or something like that. But for me, it was just I wanted to stay in the Valley and just keep pushing for, a bigger goal. Like, I'm big on, like, the Valley, and I think the grit and the toughness you'll see from the players around here, you don't find that anywhere else. And Steubenville, like Franciscan, had that. And I think that was a big thing for me too, because we don't just, worship skill around here. Like, we worship, like, hard work, dedication, and like I said, the brotherhood early
Amen.
on.
Yeah.
And just things like that are what I found of value, and I didn't find that at a lot of other schools.
Yeah, you broke down barriers. I feel like you did, because every time a player, a good player from the Valley comes to Franciscan, that's just another brick in the wall that, of what they're building here, because this university has, students from all 50 states.
Yeah.
So, the Valley is well represented, and I commend you for that. But let's talk about you and what you want to do now. You're a senior here, you're a major in criminal justice. What's in your future that as you see it, or you hope for?
Yeah, ideally right now, when I graduate, I want to go to the academy, State Highway Patrol. It's like a 6-month long process, and then you're still on the job training once you get out of the academy up around Columbus area. But ideally, that's the goal for me right now. Obviously, if something else arises, like, I'm going to take the opportunity that's there. But I think this program's built me to be the person that I need to be in the academy, although it may be challenging. I think that I've had some challenging experiences here, and I think they've made me into the man that can take on those challenges head on.
Yeah, I don't think the academy is going to be as hard as what you've gone through already. So I wouldn't worry about that too much.
All right, that's Malachi Rose Burton in our player segment here. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. This is the Joe Wallace Coaches Show, sponsored by Trinity Health System, here on the High Valley Sports Online. We'll be right back.
Trinity Health System in Steubenville, Ohio, is taking significant steps to strengthen its presence and impact within the community. Among its recent developments is a potential integration with the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, which could further enhance healthcare services and ensure long-term sustainability. The system has also expanded its reach by opening the St. Clairsville Neighborhood Hospital, providing vital emergency care and advanced medical facilities to the region. Additionally, Trinity's commitment to community wellness is evident through successful fundraising efforts, such as the raffle for medical equipment, which supports the acquisition of advanced technologies for patient care. These initiatives reflect Trinity Health System's dedication to promoting health and well-being throughout the area.
What really separates us from other schools is our main focus on God.
We are implementing virtues in our athletes. That's our number one job. It's not to win basketball games or whatever your competition is. It's to grow closer to Christ.
I found the community here to be very authentic, very genuine, and something that I immediately wanted to be a part of.
The program is just getting better and better and better.
We want them to be battle tested in the faith. I mean, it is Christ-centered here.
Welcome to the Harp and Habit, Steubenville's hidden gem. Here, Irish charm dances with local warmth. Picture shepherd's pie, fish and chips, and soda bread, all crafted with care. Whether it's family, friends, or romance, every meal becomes a celebration. Join us. Where good food meets great memories, you belong here.
Okay, welcome back here. We're inside Finnegan Fieldhouse on Hank Kuzma Court, the legendary Hank Kuzma. We have the legendary Joe Wallace. Coach, you've done things, you know, I've told you 100 times, you've done things that I never thought could happen here at the university. I mean, with the publicity that you're finally getting, you opened up a lot of eyes, and people don't see the hard work.
No,
they see the W's and L's, and you got a great season going here,
Yep.
9-2. You picked up 4 wins.
Yep.
Let's talk about them. Shenango, the tournament that you went to, you pick up 2. Sawyer Butler got 49, and a big win over Capital, which Capital, in my opinion, in the Ohio Athletic Conference, a solid Division III team, and you know that plays a solid schedule. They were big and they were physical, but let's talk about Shenango and move forward.
Well, I'll let Malachi talk about Shenango because
Go ahead.
we did. There was a lot of. Go ahead, Malachi. That's all yours.
Shenango definitely, they jumped out on us early. They were hitting some crazy shots, some tough shots, and we talked about that earlier, like, you know, can they do that for 40 minutes? And can we be ourselves for 40 minutes? And they came out and they gave us their best punch for sure. And I think it was a tale of two halves. That first half, we probably lost. I mean, we were up, but like,
Yeah.
And then the second half, we got back to more of who we are, and the ball started moving better, defense started clicking more, and we were getting runouts from their missed shots. And I think, like I said, tale of two halves. The second half, we kind of handled business, but even at that, we definitely weren't playing to our full potential against them. But
Well, they came out, they smacked you in the mouth. I mean, they're a good team. You know, they're a competitive team. They play a solid schedule.
Yeah, they do.
And that shows I think it showed the growth of this team to be able to weather that storm and
that's
then
true.
can come back and play some solid basketball. That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah, definitely. And then, you know, there's a lot of factors too. We did some things a little differently heading into that game than we normally would. We challenged these guys in different ways heading into it. So I don't think we were at our tanks weren't full for that game, that's for sure. Probably not the best decisions there, but then coming on, the guys had 6 days off. We came back, had great practices before we went to Juniata for that tournament, and man, we played a tough Stevenson team in that first game, and we guarded them. I mean, we held them in the 30s shooting. We fouled a lot though. That was our problem. That first half, just about everybody had 2 fouls, you know, and we were weathering a storm there. But we did, and things clicked down the stretch. We were able to. The good thing about both those games is, you know, we had leads, and we were holding on to leads late game, close the deal in both of them, and we really did, you know, how hard we played in that Stevenson game. It definitely transferred to the Juniata game. I don't think we had the juice defensively like we typically do, but. We found a way, you know. I mean, Sawyer was Sawyer. I mean, that was unbelievable what he did. But there was a lot of good things that went across the board with our team. I mean, this dude was guarding dudes that were really cooking us. Came in both games and just locked down guys, which it just takes so much pressure off us. Because when we're stringing stops up, our running game's going, and that's when things are really clicking. The Capital game, I think the first 8 minutes really told the story of that. I mean, we really guarded our butts off. in the half court. They were a lot of ball screens, and the way we were guarding them gave them problems, and then they went away from that. I think we let off the gas a little bit defensively after that, but they had a hard time guarding us, and they had to go to a 1-3-1 and into a 2-3, and we settled into all those pretty fine and shot the ball well against it. I mean, I think when you look at the Shenango game, we shot 42 threes against their zone. We made some adjustments, to handle and get us moving a little bit more against zone. So I feel like if a team's going to zone us moving forward, I think it's going to be a lot of problems for teams. Just to be honest, I think we have enough weapons across the court. We share the ball really well, and we have guys that can stretch it out. Yeah.
I want to talk about that, Coach, but one thing that just popped into my mind, in your first, would you play 11 games now?
Yes.
In your first 7 games, you were really, really, really extending your defense.
Yeah.
Does that remain in your repertoire, or have you seen something that caused you to pull out?
That's a great question. Malachi, you can maybe talk about us, with us pressing and not pressing. I think that's a great question. No, it's a great question.
I know what I'm talking about.
You do know what you're talking about.
No, I think we have a good balance between it. I mean, I personally want to press every game, just because I love the idea of just pressuring somebody, because at the end of the day, that's going to wear them down for 40 minutes, but also it wears yourself down too.
Yeah.
So I completely understand the longevity of the season, not pressing every game. But no, I think it's just something that we have in our back pocket that we can use for teams that maybe don't handle our ball pressure, maybe don't have the same athletes that we do. And where we have a team that's very deep, we have guys that can go off any night that doesn't really,
I think that is such, I want to touch on that because that's my favorite thing about the team. The competitive depth that this team has. Guys are coming off the bench ready to play. Yeah. The starters are ready to play.
Yes.
Like what I see mostly, Coach Wallace gives everybody a quick blow. At the beginning of the game, there's early substitutions.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And my attitude on that is, when you come out and you start a game, you exert a lot of energy just through the fact of your excitement and the adrenaline in you, and that gets you a little bit winded, but you guys are replacing people with kids that can play the game and bring something different to your attack for that game. I like it. I think that's the key fabric of this team, other than the chemistry that you have, is the competitive depth.
Oh, a lot of competitive depth, and it's every day at practice. And you talk about starters and stuff, I don't even look at it that way. We changed our lineup so much early. We're kind of settled in a little bit right now, but it doesn't, just trying to get some stability to it. But, man, we go 8-9, it's like they're all, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like I don't feel like there was a drop-off when we're getting into the bench. And then for us, it's like finding the right matchups together for who we're playing.
There was a very, very, I'm talking about, you talk about the brotherhood, and I'm talking about the camaraderie and the chemistry of the team. What I loved most up to this season was, in the last game against Capital, Christian came in the game, and everything was going good.
Yeah.
And he took a shot that me and Maz almost fell out of our seat. Like, what are you doing? Why are you taking that shot? You don't need that shot. And you immediately pulled him out of the game, and there was a timeout. And he looked, and you looked at him, you go, what was that shot about? And he looked like, I got you, Coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you guys are all on the same page, man. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, we are.
And I hope, talking about it, don't put the jinx on you, because I'm a big believer in jinx.
No, we're not going to talk about jinx.
But I love the fact that you looked at Tommy Christian and he understood, like, we don't need that shot, man. I'm like, we're winning. Things are going good. You know what I mean? Because at first he was like, what are you talking about? And you go, what was that shot about? And he goes, I got you, Coach.
That's Tommy.
So I wanted to throw that in there because that popped into my mind immediately on how well you guys are playing together, and you're attacking teams and you're hurting teams with your substitutions.
Oh, we are, and that's the thing. I think that showed a lot during that tournament. We were in massive foul trouble against Stevenson, and even you had to play a lot of depth to play back-to-back days, and we have it. And then Palero's been out too, and he'll be back soon. That's another key piece to, he was playing really well before the injury.
Zach Oliver's come back and played well after his sickness.
So I mean, it'd be good to see us getting everybody together here and see what we can do. But like back to the question about the press. Here's one thing about us, like right now, we're guarding in the half court, and against Capital, we forced 19 turnovers without pressing. So this just tells you what we're doing with ball pressure, guys that are flying around defensively right now. I mean, we're one of the top teams in the country in turnover margin. I mean, we've turned it over a little bit more than I've liked in the last couple of games, but we're turning people over, and that's a big stat for us for our success. Is how much we can turn people over and how much we can take care of that ball, because those extra possessions is win you games. And that's the same thing with the rebounding battle, and that's something we got to continue to get better at right now. We're not the rebounding team we were last year, but I think we're doing a better job keeping people off the glass defensively. We're just not on the glass as much as we were last year offensively, and part of that is that we shoot the ball better.
Yeah, you do.
There's not as many opportunities to get offensive rebounds. So,
and I think because you shoot the ball better, I think it's opened up a lot of lanes for guys to work off the dribble.
Yeah.
Which I think
I
think Aiden has done well in the last couple games. We've seen him.
Yeah.
He's worked off the dribble. But I want to touch on the pressure again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Malachi made a statement to me that made me go back to like the mid '80s.
Okay.
When I was an assistant coach at Big Red, I learned from Charlie Watt, that the pressure. Now there's two ends to this.
Yes.
Two great coaches. Charlie Watt, who was my mentor, he always talked about the cumulative effect of the pressure.
Yes.
Raymond, we wear them down.
Yes.
We wear them down. And I was an assistant coach, and I bought into totally everything that he was saying, and that's how I taught, was the cumulative effect.
Yep.
But then when I get the job, I talked to another great coach, Gene Ford, God rest his soul. Him and Charlie are both God. And Gene Ford from Cambridge, I was talking to him about the pressure, and he said, Raymond, do yourself a favor and don't press as much. And I said, that's our game, man. Steubenville Big Red, we press. And he goes, right, because Kim Clifford, at St. Clair's, he goes, when I was at Bel Air, Big Red pressed me, and I went up and I was puking at halftime. So I was saying, yeah, that's what we want to do. But Gene Ford said, think about the effect that it's having on you.
Yeah.
He says, and that's why you're fizzling out in your tournament run, because you're better than people, but they've worked on the press, but now your press isn't as effective because now it's at the end of March, and you've been pressing since the end of November. So that woke me up to the fact of, okay, let's get back and let's play solid half-court defense and things. So, that's nothing against Charlie Watt.
No.
You go with what you believe, but it's just a matter of how Gene Ford, another good coach, opened up my eyes. And that was battles, Big Red and Central. So you made me remember that, Malachi, when you said the cumulative effect that it has on you. That's a valid point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to do well out in the real world.
Oh, he's Malachi's call him the old dog around here, man.
But that's something, coaching your attitude, as far as press, like this is a long season.
What do I always ask before we work on it or we're going to play it in a game? What do I ask about the press?
He's always asking dudes if they're 100%, like they want to do it.
If they don't want to actually do it, if you're going to press, you have to.
You got to buy
You have to want to do it.
Yeah,
you want to have to heat the damn ball. Excuse my language. You have to heat the ball. You got to be flying around. You got to chase people down. And if you're kind of up, it's not going to work. You're going to be giving up open shots, and we saw that in the Altoona game a little bit. That was a while ago now, but. The other problem that I have with the press is that we're really good in the half court, and we really like to dictate certain guys guarding certain people. We want to put Malachi on one of their best offensive player on the perimeter, right? Because we know he's going to get into them, he's going to be physical, it's going to make it a hard night. We're going to it's like a mental warfare in the half court. You can bring the ball up, but once you get to that NBA 3-point line, you're going to get heat, you're going to get physicality. So it goes both ways, but we will be pressing teams, in the league as we go. There's teams that we're going to feel all right, they're not going to be able to handle this for 40 minutes. And then it's a give and take. We probably could have pressed the second game. If we would have played Juniata in just a regular game, without playing the day before, we would have turned the heat up on them a little bit more. But we didn't have that full juice for them. Yeah.
All right, Coach. Well, I think it's all league games moving forward, right? So
All league.
what do we got coming up? What are we going to see coming
Well,
up?
we got St. Vincent on the road now, and they are extremely talented. I mean, they're deep too. They're deep and talented. Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a battle up there. It's going to be a big time basketball game. Just a big time college basketball game, and it's going to be exciting for us and our guys. Here's the deal: like, no one in this league likes what's going on with us right now. They do not like this. They don't. And these teams want to, like a St. Vincent wants to put us in our place, and at the same time, it's like we're ready for all of this. We're ready to put ourselves at the top of this league. I mean, we have the talent right now. We have the players to do it. But I mean, we've battled with St. Vincent's now for years. I mean, what's your take on them?
Yeah, no, they're a really talented team for sure. And I think a lot of times our first battle with them really dictates the second one. Because last year we had a really close game with them, and they came out on top maybe by like 4 points.
Yeah.
And that second game home here, it just gave them the confidence to come out and do whatever they pretty much wanted. And I think the first game in a lot of our conference games dictates a lot, because any given night in the PAC,
Tough conference.
Yeah, a team
Yeah,
at the bottom
doesn't
beats a team
matter.
at the top.
It doesn't matter.
And you have to come ready to play every single
Every
night.
day. Everybody's preparing for each other. Everybody, like we talked about earlier, everybody
Right.
starts to, like, the players know the players, coaches know, like, the styles. They know the styles. They know what the emphases are going to be going into each game. And yeah, but it's going to be a fun battle. I'm excited that we're going on the road for the first two conference games. Well, not two. We already played two, but now that we're in this string of them. And, like it was W&J and St. Vincent were picked the top two teams in the league, so we get to see both of them early and then challenge ourselves, see where we're at. But I like us. And it'll be just a good measuring stick where we're at, regardless if we win or lose. I mean, we want to win because we need to stack up as many league wins as possible, but it's not going to have a bearing, on what this team's going to be all about at the end of the day. Because then we got to move on quick. I mean, it's just the way it goes. You're moving on quickly. We have to go to Grove City Saturday, and I mean, we've beaten Grove City here, many times, but we have not been able to win there yet. We're 0-for, and we got to put an end to that streak this year. They're always a well-coached team. They're not playing as well as they have the last few years, but it doesn't matter in that matchup. It is going to be, 40 minutes of just grinding it out against those dudes. Yeah, as you know. I mean, that's a physical game right there, playing against Grove City. They're one of the most physical teams in our league. Yeah.
All right, we're moving forward here. League play coming up here. This has been the Coach Joe Wallace Coaches Show here from Franciscan University of Steubenville inside Finnegan Fieldhouse on Hank Kuzma Court. Thank you for watching in. We appreciate it. Have a good day.